So how do you think it will affect Aries?
Okay, so if you're in Aries, Pisces, eclipse is in your 12th house. So the 12th, it is about doing that shadow work, the deep unconscious work, working with your spirit guides. Aries is very practical, fiery. This is the emotional, the intuitive, the ephemeral parts. That's what really influences you to act. Tuning into your intuition, it is about enhancing your own psychic nature, right? So for Aries, I think it could be a revelation. It could be a good time to work with addictions.
Especially when we're looking at Pluto in Capricorn.
Even though Saturn is in Pisces, it rules Capricorn. So for all Capricorn, while Saturn is in Pisces, they have to deal with their addictive issues. This is a divine timing. This is the best time to work with these energies.
With fall coming, we're coming into that darker season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a good time to release, really, to go into the equinox in a really clean state.
And I love how the universe sets it up for us. If only we were paying attention.
Well,
for Aries, they're going to be looking at things they need to let go of.
Dreams, maybe things that they have regrets about. Pisces can get into that kind of regret. Aries are always like pushing themselves, you know what I mean? So the stuff that maybe you haven't integrated. Aries just kind of push. The Pisces is about integration. And for Aries, this could be a very valuable thing to help them to kind of bring their energy more into balance.
How about Taurus? What do you think we do
for Taurus? The eclipse is in the house of wishes, hopes, and dreams. So for Taurus, which is very practical, they don't like change. They're stubborn. They're fixed. You got to change. So this would be a good time for them to network. The 11th house is about networking. It's about revolution. It's about freedom, spiritually freeing yourself up and dreaming. There's this image of Taurus really like huddling down like the ancient cave paintings, kind of like going back into that cave, like Pisces is like this big kind of cosmic room as well.
Don't you think, though, that typically speaking, the Taurus is quite stable and we like things the same? And so with this vibration coming in, it's actually an opportunity for them to shake some shit up.
Right.
And say, okay, wait a minute, my dreams aren't actually being made. What do I need to change to make the dreams come? This is going to give them a really wonderful opportunity to reflect on the things they feel is missing.
Creative side, Taurus is very creative, so it would be a good time to make things with your hands or to start new art projects or really devote yourself to the sacred artist within,
Absolutely. Would you also say, though, that this mystical energy of the Pisces might also influence the Taurus to be more spiritual in what they do,
right,
day to day?
Because they get very focused on money and tangible and all that, and to see a more spiritual quality to that, or to put that as having more value. You know what I mean? Even though it's intangible, I need to give back. It's a good time to do charity work because of this eclipse. So give to some charity, whatever it is you want to give to. That's a good thing to do.
About Gemini, let's ask, how do you think this is going to hit Gemini? It's going to be in the 10th house?
In the 10th house. So it's all about their career. Now, Geminis are also going through their best year in 12, since May this year until June next year. So they should really max this out, For Geminis, this is your big opportunity to build your dream job. You have to kind of visualize it, you know what I mean? Or ask, what is it I'm really supposed to be doing? How do I contribute, serving spiritually or creatively, right? How do I bring in a more spiritual aspect? Because Geminis are in their heads and, they're like Peter Pan. They never want to grow up. Kind of, they can't decide what they want. They're intensely curious. So this is a chance for them to really go into their own emotions, right? So 10th house, a dream career, a charitable career, something that feels that they can really express their creativity, and kind of get out of their heads. There might be some big revelation. Maybe they've been on the wrong track. Geminis like to try this out. I'll try that out. No, I'm bored. I'll try that. And maybe they really get it. Maybe something will be revealed on this eclipse. Like, oh, okay, I can see it. I feel it. I know I have to go in this direction. And it will give them more of a sense of certainty, I would say.
I get a feeling that they're on a roll.
Yeah.
They're going to be on a roll, and it's positive. And we've had a couple of difficult years. I'm going to have to say, that the shift of energy that's coming right now is almost like a propeller pushing them.
Uranus is going to move into Gemini. So again, Pluto is going to be an air sign. Uranus, which rules Aquarius, is going to be an air sign Gemini. So this is really going to amp up this airy and all the air signs kind of being in their element. You see, so again, wishes, hopes, dreams, and about really being higher consciousness.
This is a really good thing for them. To put them on a map if they've been working anywhere around an intellectual project or anything they've been doing like that, it's going to put them on the map.
Yeah, or they want to write, for Geminis, they're communicators, they're writers, they're, juggling all, it's mercurial, right? They're juggling all kinds, get all kinds of incredible downloads, right?
Right?
Cancer, the eclipse is in their ninth house, so it could be a big learning curve. Ninth house is the house of education, planning to travel, planning to go back to school, maybe learning some creative tools or getting some kind of teaching in terms of creativity, working for food banks or to help children or giving back to charities. Cancers love to do that anyway. Also working with elders, there's that sense with also Saturn and Pisces that's respecting elders, and taking responsibility for your own, maybe need to nurture too much, you know what I mean? Because there can be kind of an addictive smothering, too much mothering, you know what I mean? Energy in there too. Or, working with what's my dream home, like you're dealing with dreams here, what is it? Or so it could be redecorating your home. Again, it's creative, it's where you live, starting a school from your own house or homeschooling very literally, very literally homeschooling, or becoming a teacher of some kind or teaching whatever you love. It's about communications. It's also about social justice. So maybe there's something that you feel I really need to stand up and speak about, or something that's pulling my heart, I want to contribute to the greater good.
Also stir up some change in the type of things that they're learning.
Right.
So I think a lot of cancers do stay with the same thing over and over. Like let's say they're sewing. They're going to stay with that for years and years. I think the energy that's happening right now will have them stopping the sewing, for instance, and it's going to teach it.
It's about a big learning curve,
Yeah.
So, it could be really opening them up to new ideas, again, working for social justice. There's a sense of standing up and, really, because it's a very feeling sign. It's very protective, right? But, you got to remember that you don't get also overwhelmed, because cancers need to feel safe. So it's also, I really want to mention, it's very good. You have to have really good, healthy psychic boundaries during this eclipse as well. Because traditionally, that's why there was always the, sorry, my allergies are bothering me, all the things about not going out, not, being too exposed to the eclipse traditionally. Also, it can be very fertile for cancers, again. So, maybe you want to move. The ninth house is about movement, travel. Where's your dream home? I always wanted to take a big trip. This would be a good time to plan that, right? For Leos, it's in the eighth house, which is the house of inheritance. So Leos might inherit money. It's a sign of finances. So, Pisces is a sign of debt. I haven't mentioned this yet. Debt. So any place you've got debt, you've really got to learn to take care of this now. You can't just keep spending endlessly. You may have to tighten the belt there a little bit. That's the Virgo. They like to be on budgets. They don't like to waste money. So that could be a good thing for Leos, but it also opens up their mystic side. Eighth house is mysticism, again, dreaming. It's Scorpio-like, so major change in your ego. Pisces is about no ego. Maybe for a lot of Pisces who are invested too much in their ego and it's all about me, well, maybe that doesn't work anymore. You got to be humble. You're just part of the oneness, So how can you contribute money? Maybe it's about giving money to some, cause or a creative thing or charity or art or buying art. It's about investment. You buy art, you buy beautiful things, you buy peaceful things. Maybe you decide I have to live in a more peaceful environment. I need to be somewhere where I'm calm, like you said, I need to be in an environment where I feel, I can let my hair down, I can just be at oneness, that's what I need.
So do you think that, so maybe not inheritance, but maybe a windfall?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I would definitely buy the lottery tickets.
I've got tickets.
buy the lottery tickets. Why not? You know, I mean, yeah. So that's good. It's a lot of change. It could be a good time to do a lot of deep soul work, therapy. Eighth house has to do with psychology. You know, if there's issues that you haven't worked on, this is a good time to do it. You know, as well. This is a major, major turning point. You got to see how important it is, right? So Uranus is also pressuring people born in late Leo. You know what I mean? People born in late Leo. Uranus, you got to change. You got to move with the times. You got to, can't keep doing the same old show. You know what I mean? Like Leo's the showman, right? Can't keep going through the same dramas anymore. Virgo, the sun is there. It's like, it is the opposite, right? So you're going to be pulled out, you know, earthy, grounded, you know, into the mystical realm. And you really need that to bring balance, right? So again, Virgos, really watch your dreams, but watch your health. So for Virgo and Pisces and for all the signs, you know, there's an influence of your health. And your dreams can sometimes tell you what's going on with your body. So really be aware of that. Or if your intuition says, oh, there's something going on here, maybe it's time to go to visit your naturopath, your doctor, or, you know, whatever you use, right, to help yourself get healthy, or to really take, you know, to look at where I need to cleanse myself. Maybe I am a workaholic, or maybe I'm, you know, sacrificing myself, or I don't want to be the martyr anymore. That's Pisces, you know, I don't want to be the scapegoat. I'm tired of that. You know, this is like, okay, I'm calling it. That's the end of that, you know. So a big shift in terms of how you work in the world, your own self-concept, you know. Pisces Virgo has to do with community, pets. The Virgo is associated with pets or domestic animals, but it's sort of come down as pets. So, you know, your animal will always kind of mirror what's really going on, you know, because they're very sensitive, a dog or especially a cat, you know what I mean? Pay attention to how they're acting, you know what I mean? And pay attention to the things that you wouldn't normally notice. You know, it's like subtle. Pisces is very subtle. So pay attention to the synchronicities, the signs, you know, how, you know, spirit people who passed on usually leave a white feather or a dime or a penny or whatever it is. If you want to commune with your deceased, your ancestors, that's Pisces realm. You know, I want to connect with my ancestors. I want to feel them. I want them to help me. I want them to protect me. I want them to help guide me. So this is also a really good time to tune into that energy. Right? So the unseen, the hidden, you know, and also spiritual healing. So sound, you know, Pisces is sound healing. So toning, you just tone vowels would be very good to do, or a tuning fork.
I typically find the Virgo to be very practical, to be very organized and analytical, not necessarily fully organized, but somewhat organized and analytical. And being a Virgo ascendant, I can say that. I know this to be true of me.
Right.
So would you say that this energy that's coming in is going to ask the Virgo to take a better look at the spiritual evolution of itself?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how I just heard.
Virgo, I mean, every sign always implies the opposite. So
exactly, right?
Pisces is always your shadow side. You know, the spiritual, the intangible realm is always where you need to learn from. That's always what you're kind of in denial of, or you're afraid of, or, you know what I mean? But it's there. It is connected, right? Whether you're conscious of it or not. Like Pisces does rule the unconscious. So it's like the wealth. I call it the treasure chest. Everything that motivates us is in the unconscious. So that's karma, our past lives. This is a good time to do karmic cleansing, you know, shamanic cleansing, soul retrieval. All of this is relevant to this eclipse. Yeah, so Virgo, the eclipse is in their seventh house of relationships. So you will see your significant other could be ghosting, disappearing, addictions. You realize they have addictions. You can realize you're in a codependent relationship, or it could be your dream, you know, your soulmate. You know, that's Pisces. I want to find my soulmate. I just want to talk to them telepathically. I don't even have to want to explain it in the real world, right? So really a lot of psychic connections, telepathic connections, emotional, compassionate, healthy boundaries, but really opening up to feel. It's not just what's tangible, it's also that feeling, you know, sensing realm that Virgo needs to go into. So relating to the world in a more compassionate way, and being more compassionate with themselves, because Virgos are their own worst enemy because they're so critical and they're so self-critical. So this is where you go, oh, what is this serving? That I'm so hard on myself. What is this belief?
I always say, my son says I'm hard on myself, but
Right.
I say I'm realistic.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have to look at that one. Yeah, that could be, is that really true? Where is this idea coming from? Yeah, technically, objectively, everything that's tangible is realistic, right? But you want to look at, is this really true, or where is this coming from, or is this something from my childhood, something from past lives where I have to feel like I'm worked so hard to prove I'm worthy? You know what I mean? It's like you have to keep going back, right? Of course, yeah, physical is practical, but the spiritual is also practical. This is what we do. So
I know, and so Virgo's going to get a little dose of the Piscean vibe, and it will soften up that analyzing stuff and recognize its spiritual side a little more. So over the next month,
right. So not in your head, more in your feelings, right? More in your heart, right?
So the next sign is Libra. And so you're saying that it will be found in the 6th house here.
Right. So Libras, you really do have to look at your health. 6th house is the sign of work. That's Virgo, traditionally the sign of work. Am I doing what I really love to do? Is it feeding me? Do I feel whole? Do I feel like I'm giving back? Like Pisces is all about, you need to feel connected. I need to feel that what I'm doing is kind of, helping the world. So for Libras, am I doing that? Is my work feel like what I want to do? Is it creative? Libra is ruled by Venus, so they are creative. So, and Pisces is also creative sign. So maybe you need to look for new work that fulfills you more on a spiritual level, and also your health, how out of balance you are with your health routine, with what you're eating, with what you're accepting yourself to, because everything, Pisces is very sensitive. So, paying attention to, am I overexposed to EMFs from my phone, from my computer? You know what I mean? Like the food I eat, the vibrations I'm around. Pisces is vibration. They talk about raising your vibration. Well, Libras, maybe you need to raise your vibration now and be more sensitive to the very subtle things, And again, healing through sound, again, feeding your body, it's nutrition. Virgo is nutrition, so change in your diet, eating healthier. It's the harvest, Virgo, organic as much as possible, natural herbs, that's what witches were. They were herbalists traditionally, So using that kind of energy.
You see the Libra more grounded as opposed to airy, being more grounded and utilizing the earthy vibrations overall in their life.
Or the earthy and the creative, like Libras are creative types. I think it's about addictions, they can be addicted to love. And this is Pisces, why do I have to always be in a partnership? I mean, that is a Libra archetype, of course, right? That's like, oh, maybe this is not healthy. Maybe I'm projecting all of this stuff onto this person. That's not who they are. So there could be some, like, oh my God, awakenings, like, are you suspecting this person is cheating on you? It's like, well, trust your intuition, That's very much what it's about. I think people always know. I always find it hard. People say, I had no clue, right? You're projecting what you want to see.
Well, and that's the other thing, though, Tara. Sometimes it isn't happening as they thought. And it's unresolved issues that they're carrying into the new relationship or whatever. And they're seeing things that aren't happening and creating them.
Yes. So that's illusion. That's Pisces, illusion, delusion, projection. Because it's
I'm witnessing it. I'm witnessing it.
Yeah.
A lot of people is, and the more airy they are, the worse they are.
Right. The more airy?
The more air sign they are.
Air sign they are. Okay.
Pisces, Aquarius, Gemini. I do find that sometimes they, when this kind of energy can come in, if they can't ground it, it gets out of control.
See, there's this big force going on. You see what I mean? So I'm finding it's coming up too. You can't really avoid it. Otherwise you're going to just keep being stuck there. Do you really want that? You have a choice. Okay, so Scorpio, the lunar eclipse in Pisces is in your 5th house. And the 5th house is a good house. It's a very positive house. It's traditionally the house of the heart. It's Leo-ish, Leo overall. Sign of the heart. So it's about giving. It's about being generous, charitable, it's creative, it's love affairs, traditionally it's children, it's willpower. So for Scorpio, it could be very cathartic. Remember, Scorpio is also a water sign, right? So really a big, my intuition is like it's a big dam bursting for them, right? Like a big, all things that you've been holding back, that's been holding back your creativity, you're expressing yourself out in the world. Remember, Leo is like, it's the sun, right? And Scorpio is kind of like hidden. They don't want to be out there, you know? So that's that Leo-ish energy. So Scorpios need to own their heart power, right? And their willpower and bring it out into the world and be generous. You know that now. So it could be a ton of wealth coming to them, you know, spiritual wealth, creative wealth. I would say working with children would be a good thing. Also working with their inner child healing.
What about their inner bitch?
Their inner bitch.
Because they got that. I can
Well,
tell you that.
I mean, Scorpios are very controlling, you know. The fifth house is much lighter in general, like for it to have Pisces there. You got to remember it's harmonious element. So it shifts from the death. You got to remember that all the water signs, Cancer is the mother, it's the womb. Scorpio is the death, or the kind of tied to menstrual blood, right? So it's that sense of death and rebirth, constant change, psychological, it's the soul. And then Pisces is where you come back to source.
Right.
So if Scorpios have been feeling like they're not connected, they're disconnected, I've lost myself, that's Pisces, everybody's in the fog. I start to find myself again. I start to remember who I am. I start to connect with my soul purpose. You know, so I think that's a very, very positive thing. You know, and that can bring them, you know, Pluto rules Scorpio. You got to remember this as well. Pluto rules Scorpio, so it's soul riches. You know, Pluto's the lord of the underworld. So Pluto right now is really helping Scorpios to integrate that and seeing it all together. Pluto with the lunar eclipse, with Uranus there, big change time, you know. Scorpios like change, you know. They're run by their soul.
Do you think that Pluto in Capricorn is going to help them?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So this would be a big finalization time for them from now until November. And I take, you know, get it all done, you know, like really, and do it very creatively with, like, be an adept. And the adept is like a magician, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I kind of see this as this is going to bring them onto stages.
Yeah.
This will bring them some notoriety that they've been seeking, hoping for. And it will make them money. Whatever that is, it's going to bring in a security, a financial.
I think it's going to bring them money too. You know, so out of the shadows, whatever hidden talents you've been hiding back there, it's time to take them out onto the stage, right? So Sagittarius, the lunar eclipse is in your fourth house, which is the house of the deepest parts of the self. So again, lots of therapy, lots of inner child work, lots of crying. I'm going to say this, lots of crying. Tears are good. You know, let all the sadness, the grief, lots of, you know, anything that you've been holding back, you know, because Pisces will reveal. You got to remember, it's like the dark side of the moon, you know, what's been hidden coming out, right? So, you know, and again, being very creative, working from your home, you know, redesigning your home, making your home a safe spiritual place where you feel I'm protected here. You know, this is my source. I'm at source. Again, charitable work, working with addictions, things that maybe you were in denial of. Also, you can see family members. It's working out things with family members. So it could be forgiveness for a lot of childhood issues, whether it's your mother, the fourth house is traditionally your mother's, you know, your childhood. Also connecting with your ancestors from your dreams, and your intuition, you know, calling upon them, really feeling them, being there with you.
I see this being also a time when I can sort of see this as, let's say, a Sagittarian mother who has a teenage daughter. I think that with all this energy in there, I can see some stuff brought to the surface, some opportunities for healing, but doesn't mean it won't be difficult.
Pisces will bring up a lot of old emotional stuff that hasn't been worked out. And yeah, that can be difficult, but ultimately it's cleansing. You know, it's cleansing, healing. You know, I think it's a very healing energy. You know, it's about.
I agree. I just see that it's going to be a little harder for Sagittarian and could be looking forward to healing old rifts, especially when it comes to your family, your children.
Especially your mother, as the fourth house is tradition. Going back to that womb space, you know, and needing that sense of safety, you know, like that's Pisces. It is the cosmic womb, right? So always feeling that sense of I'm never alone. Like you're always feeling that sense of being held so tight and so unconditionally loved. Pisces is a sign of mental illness, and a lot of why this is being talked about more is Neptune going through Pisces. Neptune bringing those things that have been hidden or kind of abused or drugged. They used to just drug people to suppress it. Now it's coming out. It's more healthy to talk about it. Everything. It's always better to get it out. You know what I mean? Anything suppressed is not good.
So they're going to let it out.
Let it all out. For Sagittarius, they dream, because remember, Jupiter is your ruling planet here and it rules Pisces. Dreaming about moving. Where is your dream home? Yeah, you get lost in everybody can, or we're busy, or we've just got stuff, we're living our lives. Hey, but what did I really want to do? What was my original spiritual intention? Remember, Sagittarians are teachers. They came here to be spiritual teachers, and inspirers and the spiritual cheerleaders, and humor. Okay, so humor. Maybe don't take things so seriously, Sag, like we got to lighten up about this. Make people laugh about our calamities, the human comedy, right? And really bring that kind of lightness, into it, right? Like, don't take it all so seriously. It's not the end of the world. Like, we're all infinite beings. Like, hello, So Capricorn, third house. So this is about thinking, analysis, communication, siblings, right? Short travels. That's all third house kind of stuff. So it's like addictions. I think it's about family addictions. A lot of this, and kind of setting some boundaries, and also communicating in a much more emotional. Capricorns are emotional. I know they have the reputation of being not emotional, but their traditional symbol is the sea goat. The sea goat. So it's that earthy. I'm going to climb the mountain, but I'm also really connected to the depths of the water, the oceans, the unconscious, right? So bringing out that spiritual compassion. Like, I have a soft side. I'm not that big, meaty, hard, yes, I'm going to get the job done, but I also have feelings here, and so bringing out their feelings and allowing themselves to be more intimate in relationships, I would say. Also, it feels like it's more creative for them, or giving back to charity. If you're a big business person, becoming more philanthropic. I want my legacy to be that I cared. I wasn't just this materialistic person. It's having a sense that there's something bigger, greater than just the material world, right? So it could be a big kind of an epiphany for Capricorns, to realize that. And also issues with, forgiveness. Lots of people get into family feuds. It's not good for us to carry those resentments, just let go, and sometimes your family is too toxic. And yeah, it's better for my health to let it go. It can be very creative for Capricorns. If you work in a creative field, an ideas field, this could be a big brainstorming, a big breakthrough, or if you've always wanted to write a book or to launch something where you're teaching other people in a sense, I think this would be a good thing. Or
It might help them make some changes that they've been kind of wondering, had they made these changes before, what would happen. So this might be a really good time. I find that earth signs are often the ones that have the harder time moving.
right.
Moving energy, moving from one place to another, for instance.
Yeah, but I think especially for those Capricorns born in the last few days, I would say if you're born in the last 5 days of Capricorn, again, this eclipse will help you. I mean, it may feel like the ground you're sitting on is like getting flooded. There's nothing solid, so that can be a little scary for Capricorn. But really, the planets are really helping. Uranus is helping them to make radical changes in their lives and their careers. A lot of people are going, I don't want to be part of the rat race. I don't want to live my life that way anymore. Even Capricorns are saying that, right? Pisces rules film, photography, any creative arts, right? So again, Capricorn integrating that, or that becoming their tools, kind of, you know what I mean? Things they can use. Capricorns can be very stubborn, they're workaholics. Maybe I don't have to work so hard. Maybe I can relax a bit, maybe I can enjoy life a little bit more, right?
Yeah, go be a seagoat.
Seagoats, yeah, go be by the ocean, for a while, right? But get on the water somewhere. So Aquarius, the eclipse is in your second house. The second house, traditionally your self-esteem, your tools, your resources, the income. So for Aquarius, you need to kind of figure out again how your income can be more creative, because they tend to be kind of nerdy, traditionally technical, scientific, engineering, analytical. I mean, it's not like they don't feel, of course they do, but they have to suppress their feelings to do a very objective job. That's the thing about air, it's objective. Whereas, we're talking about, you always think through your feelings, and Aquarius will, there's no feelings, right? Because they need to just be technical, scientific, right? So for Aquarius, it's like integrating a more sensitive, more, subtle, really being aware, really opening your consciousness. So things that I would say, awaken your senses would be really good, like, massages that are like aromatherapy, getting yourself in touch with your body and your emotions, because remember, it's Virgo, Pisces, massages or oil, how they do traditional massages with oil and stuff like that. Or so also getting your hands on some tools that, again, your job has to be human. The thing about Aquarius is it's a dual sign. So part of it, lots of people want to be robots. They want to be, put their consciousness in the cloud, think they're going to be immortal, right? They're kind of transhuman, right? And a lot of them are going to want that. But the other side of Aquarius is like collective humanity, like, the societies that work together. So you've got to kind of want to investigate that. Like, where can I envision or create something new where I'm not just feeling so cut off and lonely, but I also connect to other people, right?
Would you think this would help them be more sentimental, more nostalgic?
Yeah. I mean, water is always that feeling realm, more nostalgic. Nostalgia is a Cancerian thing traditionally, right? Sentiment.
But I'm thinking their currency could be emotional.
Right. Well, for sure. Your emotional currency, your emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence would be the right word. Okay.
And this is why I think it's going to stimulate the sentimental, nostalgic side of them.
Emotional intelligence is just as valuable as, kind of practical scientific tools.
Exactly.
That we don't really like things. They get into their ideas. So they're going to have to open their minds, right, to integrating, there's another side of this, right? It's not really working. It's not really complete unless that intuitive, that creative side is there. So I think for Aquarius, it can be more money, right, for them as well, because it's the second house. And I think it's like learning new things. The second house is like, I need to acquire a new tool. So maybe I need to investigate, how does this spiritual realm, how can it work for me? And they may come on as naysayers, which can be a good thing. But through experimenting, Aquarians like to, things that are different. So maybe things that are still considered, alternative or whatever, that might really help you to get more balance, like to exploring kind of something outside of the box, really outside of the box, outside of the comfort zone of Aquarius. What does that look like? Because they're outside of the box anyway. So get more outside of the box, and see what's out.
We're gonna have to put a tether on them so they don't get too far away.
Unbox yourself, Aquarius.
To Pisces.
Okay. So Pisces, this eclipse is in your first house. So it is really about your owning your true spiritual nature. Don't hide it. You have a gift. You came here to serve the world, to bring people together, to use your vision, your dreams, and to work with your addictions and to be compassionate with yourself, to forgive, to take up any kind of creative means, whether it's dancing or singing or toning or whatever it is you want to do. Give to charities, and really don't hide the shadows. That 12th house, brings you into the first house, which is myself. Here I am, world. I am. The traditional God saying, I am that I am. Pisces has to go from, well, I'm not just in the unconscious where nobody sees me. I have to come into the world. Right? I have to let the world know what my gifts are, my creativity, what I've been hiding in the shadows. How I can help people. Because I know what it means to be.
This time might help the Piscean to come out of their shell.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, right. Like all water signs, Cancer is the crab. I guess there are different kinds of. Scorpio has a shell. You know what I mean, in a way. And Pisces, are they clam shells, whatever, oyster shells, whatever it is. Well, they have pearls, right? Also, if you want to work with gemstones, pearls. Wear pearls if you have them. To bring in that energy, also with your dreams. So for Pisces, if they've been keeping dream journals, because I know they're usually always very psychic, but always dream, you just don't remember it. And you have to work on recalling your dreams. So before you go to sleep at night, you tell yourself, I will be awake in my dreams. I will remember my dreams. And then it takes practice. There is dream yoga. You have to balance being in the spiritual, emotional world with the being in the physical body. And grounding your physicality in the real, right? The tangible, right? Those beautiful gifts. It's so you've always wanted to make a film or do something to help people uplift humanity. Again, imagine, like the song Imagine by John Lennon. That is such a Pisces kind of song. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. So this is where Pisces really needs to stand up and go, hey, I'm a dreamer. We got to work together to change the collective dream of the world.
Exactly.
So, and no more wars, and, how do we resolve this? All the religions, that's Pisces rules religions, right? Like, and Jupiter does too. So where do we find the commonality, the oneness? So we stop fighting over this, kind of ideas. It's just still an idea, right? So I think for Pisces, it's really good for them, especially as, Neptune is at that last degree. It is a kind of karmic ending, getting out of those toxic relationships, stop being the martyr. It is about owning your own karma so you can clear that. So you're free to be who I am, right? Mm-hmm. And again, that sense of gratitude. Pisces is gratitude. And gratitude is a huge thing that we all need to do. Because we have to be grateful, however small, whatever little things we have, even your health, where you live, you're alive, and gratitude brings in more positive energy. So understanding how our thoughts are feeling, which is really the feeling nature that creates what we want, right? How can I do it to contribute for everybody else? And to feel that connection with all the other beings in the world.
By this energy happening in the first house, it would be a good opportunity for them to be reflecting upon themselves. And in that time, they would likely want to be alone a lot.
Right.
See that I wouldn't see this as a very social time, but more as an inward shadow work, and also maybe just seeing your gifts, seeing your available gifts, and also asking yourself, if you haven't been using them, why not?
Right.
Yeah. And taking a good look at yourself and saying, okay, these are my gifts. I have a responsibility to offer them to the community.
Right.
How will I do
that? So that's Saturn, Pisces. I have to own my gifts, right? So yeah, it's more about identifying yourself, right? It's not so much about being out in the world. It's like identify myself as a spiritual being, a creative being, a dreamer. You know what I mean? Someone who connects people. Something that brings art into the world, that helps people to feel that sense, or brings charity into the world. Who's humble. You need more humility in a way, but not that you hide yourself away. People are too egotistical, or they take everything too personal. Pisces is kind of transpersonal. It's always somebody. I think Don Miguel Ruiz said, it's always whatever somebody's accusing you of, it's always their stuff. Mm-hmm. The projections, that's your projection. That has nothing to do with me, right? So really a lot of work so that you can strengthen yourself, so you're not subject. Pisces is always subject to everything that comes at them. You're going to be a mess, right? And so be careful about the news you listen to. Be careful about the people you surround yourself with, and really have a stronger sense of yourself so you can own your place in the world.
Yeah.
Right?
So overall, tuning into your emotional state, where you stand in the world, what you think of yourself, how you feel about certain causes or things that are happening in the world, and what action, maybe not action in this moment, but what action you might put to the situation when the solar eclipse comes along.